G'day folks, Connor here, back with another video, and today we're doing a, you could say long-term review of the Pixel 9a. Oh boy. Now, you all know that I love my Pixels. I absolutely adore them. Pixel phones for me are the benchmark. Better than Apple, better than Samsung, better than all the others. That's just my preference, and for you, they could be like fifth on the list. But for me, it's the benchmark for a few reasons. But number one is the camera. No matter what sort of level we're on, so if we're on the mid-range, it's the best camera for a mid-range phone. If we're on the flagships, they're the best camera for a flagship. Video, not so much, but for photos, they're definitely the best. Another reason why I go with them is because of the software. Yeah, it's heavy when it comes to Google software. That's what it is. It's Android, it's Google, and it's made together to give you a very seamless experience. And I really do get that for the most part. And the integration of AI. So Gemini in through all the apps really makes my experience better. And it's kind of like cutting edge because you don't have Samsung doesn't have their version of AI baked into their software. Apple doesn't really have AI on the map at all. They're just pretty shit in general. So overall, the Pixel has the best AI integration, and I do believe that AI is the future. You know, it's kind of like the last most impressive thing that came along, in my opinion, was like the internet. And I think AI is the next massive thing. Now, I don't think we're going to have robots ruling the world, but I just think doing simple tasks is going to be done by AI. I like that. You know, like I reply to emails, marketing emails that I get, people trying to send me stuff to review, and I just tell AI to reply. Yes, I like the product, tell them I want to review it, send them my address, and it just writes it all for me and sends it off. Or reject this person. I just tell AI what to do through the Pixel phone and it does it for me. It's the software, the camera, and for me, the translation is the best on mobile devices. And I travel a lot, so using translation helps me massively. Do you get all that with the Pixel 9a? Yes, you do. You get an amazing camera for the price. So you put this camera up against another $850 camera, it's gonna beat every time. The video is always gonna be questionable because they just don't seem to focus on it, but for the camera, you get those really nice, sharp, computational photos straight out of camera. Like it does the editing in camera. You also have the dual brightness sliders, so you can make your shadows brighter and your highlights darker in camera, and it does it for you. I mean, that's incredible. You can't really do that with a $4,000 mirrorless camera, but you can do it with a smartphone. I still prefer the photos out of a $4,000 camera, but it's amazing that you can do that. Also things like Add Me, where you take a photo of 3 people and you're the 4th person. Take the first photo, then get someone in that group to come and take the second photo or with you in it, and you get an amazing photo. And very often I have also used subject eraser, or what's it called again? I'll put it up here, the name of it, but sometimes I'll take a photo of me and the girl at dinner out somewhere and there'll be someone behind us like shoving a face with food, and the picture could be perfect except for that one person. But I do like to be able to remove them from the photo with my Pixel phone. So pretty incredible stuff. You have portrait mode that does a good job, and most phones do these days from your $1,000 price point and upwards. Australian dollars, $850 here, and you get a pretty good portrait mode. There's always going to be moments where it doesn't quite capture the edge of a subject properly, but for the most part, they've done a pretty amazing job here. Night sight is fairly good. I mean, look, these night sight photos look good on your phone. Once you put them on a computer or watch them back on, say, a TV, they look atrocious, and that's where photography really stands out with proper cameras. But for the most part, night sight on your phone looks amazing and very shareable with your friends across your mobile devices. Now, for the video on the rear-facing camera, I'll cut to some video in a minute, but you can only do 4K 60 on the rear. On the front-facing camera, you can only do 4K 30. Okay, folks, this is the Pixel 9a rear-facing camera, 4K, stabilization in standard mode. What do you think? I don't think it looks too bad. Definitely better than the front-facing camera, but do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's an $850 camera for a smartphone? Is there better out there? I think you get better stabilization with others, but I think the image quality is better on the Pixel 9a than most of the others in this price range. And you don't get 24 frames per second here on the Pixel 9a. But look, for 850 Aussie dollars, you get an amazing camera and video recorder. And let's cut to some video now. Okay, let's quickly talk about build quality. It feels nice in the hand, which is always a good plus. Feels good, it's got no sharp edges. It actually like rigid edges, but not sharp. It feels really good, it's easy to hold. It is a bit slippery. However, I hate this camera hump. Really don't like it. I really like the camera hump on like the Pixel 9 series and all the other Pixel phones. I really don't know why we've gone and made it look like this. It looks like shit. It really does. And I'm sorry, Google. So I really do think that they messed up with the camera hump. It looks tacky, it looks cheap. And I'm a fan of pink, but it just looks tacky on this phone. I don't like the pink color. Some of the colors on phones in general can look a bit tacky. And the brighter they get, the more like toyish they look to me. So I'm not a fan of it. I'm really not. That hump, not so good. Now on the other side, I'm sorry, but that freaking bezel, man. I'm normally someone that says, hey, I don't look at the bezels, I look what's between the bezels. But it's hard to ignore the bezels on this, man. They're fat. Fat bezels. No one likes a fat bezel, so I would say you could do better there, Google. The bezels look atrocious. Now it does have a POLED display instead of an OLED display. POLED is a cheaper display. It does have 422 pixels per inch, and it does come in at 60 to 120 hertz refresh rate. That's okay for the price point. I mean, you can get 1 to 120 hertz at this price point, but you give up other things. So for me, the hertz isn't too much of an issue, and the display does look good. And what's impressive is that 2700 nits peak brightness mode. That's pretty damn bright. I think you get 1600's high brightness, but 2700 peak brightness. So that's very bright. You're not going to be struggling to see this phone in the sun. Now, for performance, I have no issues with it. You can see from this video, I'm gaming Asphalt 9. It handles it really well. For the most part, that is going to be your gaming experience. Now, they are also talking about this 100-hour battery life. So you're talking performance here that's balanced and managed because you're trying to share that performance with your battery life. And it kind of feels like you're not giving up much here as well when it comes to performance. It really does perform quite well. And I don't notice the difference between the 9A and the 9 in my day-to-day usage. So you could save yourself 300 or 400 Aussie dollars by not getting the 9 and just going for the 9A. Now also when it comes to build and design, you do get IP68 water and dust resistance. So at 850 bucks, you're really ticking a lot of boxes here. And I would be happy to take these phones out in heavy rain or drop them in a puddle, or maybe even some fresh water. If you drop them in the creek, they're going to be fine. Wouldn't take them in salt water, but IP68 water and dust. Thank you. Now we do take a hit in some places, and one of those is actually in RAM. 8 gigs of RAM here, as opposed to 12 on the Pixel 9 and 16 on the Pixel 9 Pro. So there you can see some hits. That would affect it a little bit, but to me it's not that noticeable, especially for what I do. Now we do have the Google Tensor G4, which is their latest chip at this point in time. And we also have the Titan M2 security chip. I haven't been hacked via my phone yet, except for that one time in Vietnam. Now, just on the cameras, I do want to mention the camera, the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 9a, just some differences here. So on the rear of the camera, you have a 48 megapixel wide and a 13 megapixel ultra wide. I still don't like the ultra wide. I didn't like it in the 9, didn't like it in the 8 Pro, don't like it in the 9A. I mean, it looks good and it's as good as any other on the market. I just don't like the stretched out, elongated look of it, so I just prefer to use the wide angle. You don't get the telephoto, but you do get dual pixel and optical image stabilization, and it does look pretty stable. I mean, I'll give you 2 shots right now, one of the Pixel 9 and one of the Canon R50V, which is supposed to be a content creator's camera, and you can see the difference in the stabilization. The phone does a way better job. So look, it's really hard to review phones these days. They're all very similar. From $1,000 to $2,000, they are hard to separate, especially these Pixel phones. And I think Apple have kind of done that too, you know, like, yes, you give up on some hardware when you pay less, but it's hard to tell in your day-to-day usage. Now, quite often I will pick up my Pixel 8 Pro and just play around with it, and I'm not missing it. I feel like I downgraded to get to the Pixel 9, but I'm not missing the 8 Pro. So there's a lot to be said for what Google are doing here with their Pixel A series, the 9A, 7A, 8A. All these phones are above par when it comes to the mid-range performance and specs and just day-to-day usability. I think it's a really good phone. If $850 is your max spend, get the Pixel 9A. I've got to say that, yes, it's better than Oppo. I'm a big Oppo fan as well, but for price, bang for buck, $850, you get more with the Pixel 9A. Shout out to Phil for sending me the Pixel 9A. You know, some people really do support this channel, whether it's just by making sure they watch every video and pressing like. Some people send me stuff to review. Thank you, Phil. Love your work, mate. Really appreciated. And everyone else who's watched this video, thank you as well. Love your work, and I will catch you all in the next video.